Awesome. So everybody, this is Grandmaster Hoadley. He's going to be teaching the next half an hour about sparring strategy. So let's have fun, let's learn, and let's get started. Thank you, Mr. Hoadley.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. And I would first like to thank Mr. George Strickland, Mr. Sid Nelson, and Mr. David Vincent and Sarah Vincent for being part of this group. And all of us agree that Mr. Spikar is probably a 10th degree black belt in technology. So Mr. Spikar, we're very, very thrilled to be able to work with you, and you've done a great job organizing this. And again, I just want to repeat what a great honor it is for me to be here. And I'm going to try to limit my yapping away. We only got 30 minutes. I usually talk for 30 minutes before I get around to doing anything, but I'm going to try to keep my mouth closed, and I think less is more. Before we start, I want to acknowledge some of the instructors that I've been fortunate to train with. My original instructor was Robert Allemeyer, and his instructor, Hang-Un Lee, and Hang-Un Lee's brother, Soon-Ho Lee, and another Korean instructor, Young-Sung Kang. Also, my current instructor is Grandmaster Bob Harden, trained with him for about 40 years. And also, Dale Craig was one of my instructors, and I've also trained with Bill Wallace and Joe Lewis many times over the years. So the things that I'm going to share with you today are things I've gleaned over a long, long time. And again, George Strickland was one of my best students. He was just an incredibly talented guy. And today we're going to work on tournament sparring. And a couple things I want to explain about tournament sparring. Tournament sparring is not exactly like a real fight. It is not exactly like real self-defense. When you spar at a tournament, you're probably not going to be allowed to do an elbow strike or a knee strike because obviously you'll injure your opponent. And tournament sparring, especially if you're an intermediate student, if you've gone from the beginning stages, and our system is white, then yellow, then orange, and then you go to green belt. But green belt and blue belt and purple belt and red belt and brown belt and black belt, all those are intermediate stages. And then you reach red and black belt, and that's probably considered an advanced stage. At the intermediate stage, you can start learning to do tournament sparring. And when you do the tournament sparring, understand, again, it's not exactly real self-defense. Most tournaments do not allow you to injure your opponent. If you do, you're disqualified. And we don't want to be training people and have them be constantly injured while they're learning. So at the intermediate stage, the rules are set up first for your safety, but also to force you to learn certain skills that will work in a self-defense situation. So it's very much a controlled athletic environment. And you can use this with your instructor to learn to set goals and achieve goals. And remember, the thing that's important about tournament competition is that you learn to set goals and achieve them, but it's not as important to be the winner as it is to do your best. If you learn to have a good work ethic and to do your best, you will achieve your goals, and you will probably win more competitions than you lose. So don't be so concerned about what the judges decide, but you know in your heart if you've worked hard. If you want to learn to work hard, if you work hard, the more you practice, the luckier you get in competition. So we want to be real lucky and work real hard. So first, let's start out with fighting stance. We're going to stand pretty much in what we call a back stance. You can see my feet, it's an L shape. Then just jump high in the air and land. And you're going to land in a very comfortable, balanced position, and you're sideways. Now with my hands, we learned to fight with a fist in a guarding position. I want you to open your hands and knife hands and turn your palms out slightly. And you want your fingertips and your palms up either by your eyebrows or by your chin, but up, protecting your head. Your elbows and forearms are going to protect your midsection. So you're in a position when somebody tries to hit you in the body or the head, hopefully your hands are in the way and you can learn to block. And I'm sure that you all learned many blocks, a low block and a high block, an inner forearm block, a double knife block. What we're going to learn to do is modify these blocks just a little bit. And using our palm, we're going to use a blocking technique called a parry, where you're just slapping with your palm the punch or the kick away. Now let's work on one very simple punching technique. Sideways, Both knees bent. The more you relax, the faster you're going to move. When a muscle contracts from a fully relaxed state, it is stronger, it's quicker, and it's much more deceptive. So you want to learn to be very, very relaxed. You're going to work hard, but you want to start out from being relaxed. So take a deep breath, breathe out. Now, let's pretend to skip rope. I want you to do that for 30 seconds. Imaginary jump rope, ready, and go. And we're skipping rope, nice and easy. Now switch frontwards, switch backwards. Gotta jump, skip rope. Now crosses, jump and cross. Now doubles, jump high and skip the rope twice, jump high, skip rope, Now crosses, now do crosses and doubles, crosses and doubles. And rest. Now, we're going to be in this fighting stance. Again, we're sideways. Let's start with our left foot forward, both hands up in the guard position. And the first punching combination we want to work on is called a back fist strike. Very simple strike. My left fist is in front. With the back of my fist, I'm going to bend my knee and strike at my opponent's nose. So we're going to do a back fist strike. And it's almost like throwing a frisbee. I'm going to twist my hand as I twist my hip. And let's just do a back fist strike. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now notice when I do the back fist, I retract and it comes right back to guard position. So I strike and recover. Strike and switch stance. Now we do it with the right hand. Ready? Back fist, pull back. Back fist, pull back. Back fist, recover. Back fist, recover. Back fist, recover. Now switch. Now we're going to add a reverse punch to the back fist strike. From here, we back fist. Notice I recover. Now I do a reverse punch, not to the nose, but to the midsection. So let's try it again. Back fist, reverse punch. Again. Back fist, reverse punch. Again. Back fist, reverse punch. Back fist high, reverse punch middle. One more time. Back fist, and notice I'm covering. I'm using the back fist as it returns as a guarding tool, and then I reverse punch. Now let's switch our stance. Now the right foot forward. In. Back fist, reverse punch. Again. Back fist, reverse punch. Step forward. Back fist high, reverse punch middle. Each time I retract. Back fist, I'm protecting, punch. One more time. Back fist, reverse punch. Now let's add one more strike to this technique. From here, back fist high, reverse punch middle. Now watch how I switch my hands, and I drop my left hand, and I come back with a ridge hand high. Again, slowly. Back fist, reverse punch. Notice how I switch my hands. Now I'm protecting my head and ridge hand. Again, back fist, reverse punch, ridge hand. Again, back fist, reverse punch, ridge hand. Two more. Back fist, reverse punch, ridge hand. And one more. Back fist, reverse punch, ridge hand. Switch stance. From here, right foot is forward, right back fist. I retract, protecting as I reverse punch midsection. I change my hand position. Now I'm protecting with the right hand, I ridge hand. Back fist, reverse punch, ridge hand. Back fist, reverse punch, ridge hand. Back fist, reverse punch, ridge hand. One more time. Back fist, reverse punch, ridge hand. And let's do 10 push-ups. Go! Jump up with a little strength training inside here. 10 push-ups. Very good. Now this combination, we refer to this affectionately as the old 1, 2, 3. So we're doing the back fist high, reverse punch midsection, and then another strike high. The old 1, 2, 3. Now let's learn how to block this. From here, the same position, we're sideways, left foot's forward, hands in this guard position. And what we want to learn to do is a pretty sophisticated way of blocking. We're going to use our front hand to protect our head. And that's going to be the upstairs block. The rear hand is going to block downstairs. And what we don't want to do is get fooled into using the front hand to block high and then the same front hand to block low, leaving your head wide open. Because your opponents they're sneaky devils, these opponents that you're going to find at tournaments. They're going to try to trick you constantly. Another very common technique is when they go to spar, they say, hey, your shoe's untied. And when you look down, then they punch you in the head. So you've got to learn to be very relaxed and pay attention and don't let anybody trick you. So from here, our hands are up in this position. And remember, we're going to modify this blocking technique like a knife hand block, but we're going to call it a parry. So let's just pretend that somebody's punching at your nose and you parry, and you parry, and you parry, and you parry. Now, they're going to punch at your stomach, and the rear hand is going to go downstairs. I bend my knees, and downstairs, and downstairs, and downstairs. Now switch. Right foot's forward, both hands up, the right hand's in front, and the right hand has to be upstairs. So we parry upstairs, parry upstairs, parry upstairs, parry upstairs. Now, the left hand is the rear hand. This hand will parry anything coming to the midsection or downstairs. So downstairs, 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 downstairs. Now, let's switch stance again one more time. Now, one more variation that you want to be ready for is many times your opponent will punch or strike or kick at your head twice. So you may have to block to the left and the right with the front hand. So we're going to try that now. So the left hand and left footer in front. Somebody kicks at your head, you parry out. Now they strike with a punch the other way, and you parry back across. Almost like your front hand is like a windshield wiper. The front hand never goes down. If it goes down, then you're trying to protect your head with the rear hand, which is that's pretty hard to do, especially a lot of people that are competitors in tournaments punching very quickly. And you may not have time or even the ability to reach across with your rear hand to protect your head. So again, one more time. Left foot's forward, upstairs, left, upstairs, right. Parry left, parry right. Parry left, parry right. And switch. Right foot forward. Upstairs, we're going to parry right, then left. Parry right, then left. Parry right, then left. And switch. Now, one more thing. When we block, if a punch or kick is going to miss you, then don't worry about it. You got to make sure that it's not going to hit you. But when it comes in within 2 inches of the silhouette of your head or your body, then you worry about it. You better block. We don't have to block way over here. In fact, this will create an opening where a very experienced fighter will do something to make you overreact, and your hands are no longer protecting yourself. Think of yourself as like a giant turtle. And your head is tucked down, your chin is on your shoulders, your hands are right up here. It's very difficult for your opponent to punch or kick and actually hit your head or hit your body. But as soon as you move your hand way out here, it's like a turtle sticking their neck out. Now you've exposed this whole part of your body, and it's difficult to be quick enough to recover and stop the punch or kick from hitting you before it actually makes contact. So again, from here, left foot forward, parry. Left, right, then downstairs. So first it's upstairs. Left, right, downstairs. Left, right, downstairs. Left, right, downstairs. And switch. Right foot forward, right hand forward. And parry out to the right, back to the left, then downstairs. Parry. Right, left, downstairs. Parry. Right, left, downstairs. Right, left, downstairs. And let's drop down and do 10 crunches. Go, ready, on your back. 10 sit-ups real quick. Isn't this fun? Aren't you glad you came today? So what we're doing some strengthening exercises to strengthen the muscles in the upper body and also the muscles in the abdomen. Now we're going to do a little bit of kicking, and then we're going to try to put this kicking and punching together. And we're only doing 3 punches. We're only doing 3 blocks. We're just going to do 3 kicks. Now, as you learn whatever martial art you're involved in our Taekwondo system, we teach 8 kicks and we teach 8 punches and strikes. Often when you learn music, for example, if you learn to play a guitar, you may learn something called a natural scale that has 8 notes. What a coincidence. These are both art forms, and they're both beautiful. And your instrument is not a guitar, it's your body. So you want to practice regularly. You want to make beautiful music with your body. You want to keep it in tune. And today we're only going to work on 3 of those basic kicks. And the first kick we're going to work on is a side kick. And let's go ahead and do 10 squats. Fold your arms, feet shoulder wide, and up, down. That's it. 10 squats. Go. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's just do a real simple stretch. I want you to put your foot straight out in front. If you have a couch or a chair, make your legs straight. And we're going to stretch for 20 seconds. Just stretch the back of your leg bicep. Leaning forward. Deep breaths, relax. It should feel good. And switch feet. Stretch the other foot. Just 15 seconds. Stretching the back of your leg bicep. And rest. Now we're going to stretch the front of our leg. And if you can stand, put your foot on a chair or a stool, bend your knee, and stretch the front of your thigh. And this is the quadricep. And we're pushing our knee down and our hip forward, stretching the front of the leg. These are 2 real simple stretches. And then switch feet. And let's do 10 more squats. Ready and go. And one more stretch. I want you to spread your feet as wide as you can and stretch out in a split. Go as far as you can. Stretching, leaning forward. Now, we've been working for about 20 minutes, and you're warming up the muscles in your body. Your blood is warming up a little bit, kind of like an automobile engine. When you start the car on a cold morning, the engine warms up, and pretty soon the oil moves more freely. That's what's happened with your blood and your muscles. Now let's work on kicking. And the first kick we want to work on is a side kick. And there's different ways to practice this. We're going to look at 3 different ways to practice this. In the beginning, I want you to do a 4-step side kick. So stand your feet shoulder wide, and let's grab a stool or a chair and chamber your left knee high as you can. Hands up in a guard position. Then pivot the foot you're standing on. Kick out, pull back, and down. Again, chamber, pivot, kick, pull back. One more time. 4 counts. Chamber, pivot, kick, and pull back. And let's do the other foot now. From here, chamber, kick, pull back, down, chamber, kick, retract, and down, and one more. Chamber, kick, retract, and down. Now, let's do the kick standing. We want to learn 2 ways to do this front leg side kick. If you have to step every time you kick, your opponent will figure this out pretty quickly. So we want to learn to kick without stepping. Just from right here, pick up your front leg, and that 1, 2, 3, 4 now becomes 1. Side kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And switch. Standing side kick of the right foot, just one motion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, another very important way to learn to do the side kick is to step and kick. And let's get in a slightly longer fighting stance. This time we're going to take 1 step. So we want to learn to step with our back foot. As we step, notice I'm pivoting. Let me move back so you can see. I step and I pivot and then side kick. So we're going to slide, side kick. Again, hands up, guard position. We slide, 1 motion, side kick, And one more, slide, side kick. Now we do the other foot. So slightly longer fighting stance. We're going to kick with the right leg. You slide, side kick. Again, as you slide, you pivot, side kick. And again, slide, side kick. And again, slide, side kick. Now I'm going to use my my partner, Ms. Cassie Baker, is certified instructor, second degree black belt. She's going to help me today. And we're going to work a little bit on this blocking so you understand how you use this basic side kick and the back fist, reverse punch, reach hand strike, how you want to protect yourself against that. So Ms. Baker is going to stand over here, left foot forward at an angle so you can see, and she's going to slide and side kick me right in the rib. So I want to learn to block that. Now, the reason that I don't want to block with my front hand is because she is very sneaky. You have to keep your eye on her. She's going to step and kick me in the rib and instantly back fist my head. So watch what happens when I block down with my front hand. And there's the back fist. Oh no, I didn't get my hand up in time. Again, I block down. I don't want to do that again. So what I'm going to do is use my front hand to protect the back fist. But first, the side kick's coming to the midsection. So my backhand is going to block the side kick. There's a, aha! Again, side kick, parry, parry. Again, side kick, parry, parry. Now she's going to do a side kick, back fist, reverse punch. Upstairs, downstairs, downstairs. Downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. Again, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. Downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. Now, switch stance, you come over here.
Sir.
Now, notice when we practice today, we're doing everything right hand, 10 repetitions, left hand, 10 repetitions. Same thing with the kicking. When you practice sparring, what I found is people are going to use their dominant side. If you write your name with your right hand, then you probably like to punch with your right hand. You still have to learn to use your left hand to do punches. So we practice on targets and on heavy bags and in forms, we do both hands. When you spar, you're going to use the dominant hand, especially for the power punch. Same thing with kicking. Your left foot or your right foot's going to be dominant. And that's what you're going to use when you're actually sparring, especially if you're a little bit frightened by how good this other person is. Then you revert to the thing you're most comfortable with. So she's going to do the sliding side kick to my midsection, downstairs, back fist, upstairs, reverse punch, downstairs. Again, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. Downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. Very good. Now, let's do another kick. Let's work on that double roundhouse kick. I think we have about 5 minutes left, so we'll do this rather quickly. Again, turn sideways, left foot forward. You want to pivot your right foot because we're going to kick with the left. And we're using the front leg roundhouse kick, which does not go straight in, but it comes from the side. So we're going to do front leg round kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to do a very effective tournament sparring technique, a double roundhouse kick. We're going to slide and kick twice. So you slide, kick midsection, up high. Slide, kick midsection, up high. Now let's try the other foot. Right foot forward, just pick up your front leg, round kick. Again, pick up your front leg, round kick. Pick up your front leg, round kick. Now slide, double round kick. Slide, double round kick. And slide, double round kick. Now, Ms. Baker's going to demonstrate right over here first.
Sir.
She's going to slide and try to trick me. She's going to kick me in the stomach, and I have to block downstairs. If I block downstairs with my front hand, then it's harder to block with the second kick. So downstairs, upstairs. Downstairs, upstairs. Downstairs, upstairs. And right over here, one more time. She's going to slide. Again, she kicks the body. My front hand stays upstairs. So we block downstairs, upstairs. Elbows are in, downstairs, upstairs. Very good. Well, I see we're almost out of time. I want to thank you so much for the privilege of sharing with you some of my workout techniques. And again, Mr. Spikar, we really appreciate your hard work and your organization and your success. Mr. Nelson, Mr. Vincent, Mrs. Vincent, and George Strickland. You guys are wonderful, and I'm Master Hoadley. This is Miss Cassie Baker. We're from Mobile, Alabama, and we will wish you guys have a blessed day. One more thing. When you go to a tournament, you may lose. It's not the end of the world. Your instructor will help you figure out what you can do. If there's things that you're making mistakes in your execution or not responding to what your opponent does, you can figure that out with your instructor, and you can work hard on correcting the things that you may have done incorrectly the first time you sparred, and eventually you will learn how to make sense of this. And most important thing for your training is make sure that you're safe and that you have fun. If you have fun, you do it more. And again, the more you practice, the luckier you're going to be.
Thank you, Mr. Hoadley. Thank you so much. What we usually do is we take about 5 minutes at the end to ask some questions. I know students might be interested in asking you some questions.
Sure.
So, boys and girls, raise your hand if you have a question. And Mr. Strickland, I'm asking for your help if you can see somebody who has a question. And I see Maya, she has a question. So Maya, what is your question?
So what is the name of your karate studio?
Inner Strength Martial Arts, Mobile, Alabama.
So Inner Strength Martial Arts.
Trevor Hill. Trevor Hill. He had his hand up. No? Put his hand down? Okay.
Okay, I saw iPad 7. iPad 7. Hey, sir, what is your question?
What is your school name?
Inner Strength Martial Arts.
There's
All right,
a
I
checklist.
see Nicholas has a question. All right, let me find out. Nicholas, what's your question?
What degree black belt are you?
I'm an 8th degree black belt. That means I'm really old.
All right, guys, raise your hand. Mr. Strickland, do you see somebody?
I'm looking.
Raise your hand if you have a question, team.
Really? Nobody's asking questions?
Don't be scared.
Don't be afraid. Master Hoadley doesn't bite. He punches hard, though.
I added that to my techniques. I've learned to bite. So.
Hey, Philip, you had a question. What is it that you wanted to ask?
How many people do you have in your karate school?
Well, right now it's just me and Miss Baker, but we're closed because of the virus. But we have over 100 students in this school, and we have classes for children and adults, and actually we have a big homeschool program, which has been pretty successful. So we have a lot of students in our classes.
Awesome. Nicholas, you have another question. What is it?
How many tournaments have you lost?
Ooh.
Great question, and I was going to tell you guys that. I think I lost the first 100 tournaments I went to. And what I learned from that is I realized that winning, for some reason I just couldn't figure out how to win, so I decided I would have fun. And when I started having fun, I started winning. So you've got to make your training and the competition fun. It's not the end of the world if you lose, and actually the judges decide who wins or loses. You want to know in your heart that you did your very best, not only the day of the tournament, but in all your practice preparing for that. You are learning to develop what's called resolve. That means we fix for a purpose or determination. We learn to fix something inside us so we achieve our goal.
Great question and great answer. I see that we have a couple more questions from Tasha and from the Holmes family. So let me see if we can do Tasha first. Tasha, what is your question? Tasha, are you there?
She moved.
Yes. Okay. We're going to do the Holmes family. What's your question?
What is the longest Taekwondo form ever?
Come a little bit closer. We couldn't hear you.
What is the longest Taekwondo form?
Our longest Taekwondo form.
The International Taekwondo Federation and the Chongsil Kwan Taekwondo organization do 24, or actually 25 of the original forms, and Sosan has 72 movements.
So sorry.
It's a long form. You got to pack a lunch when you practice that form.
It looks like Mr. Favors has had a question. Barry Favors, I'm so glad to see you here today.
Who, Mr. Strickland?
Just
Very
want to say hello, Mr. Hoadley.
Mr. Favors, nice to hear your voice.
Hello, sir. What is your question?
I don't have a question. I'm just saying hello to my old instructor.
Oh, how awesome is that?
Couldn't hear it.
Oh, he was saying hello to his instructor.
Well, how nice. Come and see me, Barry Favors. Come and see me. Come work out with me.
Yes, sir.
Who did the old man work out?
Yeah.
All right, team. Lee and
Kevin
Jonah,
Jones.
I see you have a question.
Kevin Jones has a question.
Lee and Jonah, what's your question?
We just wanted to thank you for teaching us. We can't go to Taekwondo physically.
I have a question. How long have you been doing Taekwondo?
How long what?
How long have you been doing Taekwondo?
I started in 1972,
So
in
almost
August 72. So that would be
48.
48 years. So that's older than you are.
What a great question.
I was doing Taekwondo before you were breathing.
Yeah, pretty much everybody on there. Kevin Jones had a question.
Where's Kevin Jones? Kevin, let me find you quickly. Okay, Mr. Jones, what's your question?
All right, sir. Good afternoon from Lexington, Kentucky, Mr. Nelson School, as you know. My question is on the parries. When you got a hook kick coming in that's coming in pretty high to the head, does that mean you need to extend that parry over, or you want to use that backhand on that? So that block.
Well, very good question. We didn't get to the hook kick today just because, we run out of time. But the hook kick is the third kick that we teach in this series. And so the side kick comes center field, the roundhouse kick from left field, and the hook kick from right field. So you're right. You want to try to block the hook kick with your front hand, but you're right. Some people get such penetration that you may have to raise your backhand to block that hook kick if it's coming around the back of your head. And unfortunately, that's something you learn usually after the guy kicks you in the head once. So,
What a great question and an excellent answer. Yes, hook kick is one of my favorite kicks. Absolutely amazing, amazing kick.
Very surprising kick.
Yes. All right, team. Any more questions? Please raise your hand. Jillian, I see you. Okay. Jillian, what is your question?
Have you ever had to use your Taekwondo outside of class or outside of the karate school?
Yes, that's true. And let me just tell you this, that one of the things that we want to make sure that we understand when we're practicing is in the class you wear rubber pads, and in the tournament you wear some kind of rubber pads. And these pads are designed so you don't break bones, so you don't get a serious injury. It requires you going to the emergency room. And when you learn the basic point system of doing tournaments, it's not perfect, but in some ways it's very realistic. And the difference is that we see a lot of boxing matches or UFC or kickboxing matches on television or on film, and those guys are really tough, but and if you get in the ring, they'll knock you out. They're very good, but they're wearing gloves. And the difference between punching a board bare knuckle or punching somebody bare knuckle and punching a board with a boxing glove on or punching somebody with a boxing glove on is very, very important. And we don't want to get punched in the head with bare knuckle or ridge hand or knife hand or elbow, because it doesn't take a lot of power to really crack one of the bones in your head. Your head is very, very thin bones, easy to get injured. So the rubber pads or the boxing gloves, it's like a giant pillow. Still really tough. If you get in a boxing match with a good boxer, they're going to hit you. You're going to see stars. They're very, very good at punching, but it's a slightly different punch. And what you're learning in Taekwondo, even with the rubber pads, is the basic bare knuckle kicking and punching techniques, very, very old school, and actually came from actual combat. Now, we don't let our students practice doing elbow strikes or full contact bare knuckle punches to the head or the body, because obviously you'd be going to the emergency room. We don't want you to be injured while you're learning to do this. But it does work very, very well in a fight. And one more thing I'd like to say about that. Taekwondo is noted for its kicking. Kicking is an excellent self-defense technique. Should always kick when you can. The problem is, in the real world, many times you get in a fight and you cannot kick. There's not room or time. So the hand techniques are very important. The kicking is very important, and it's a complete package. And your instructor can give you more practice and insight on what to do in a real self-defense situation, which is a little different than the tournament sparring we did today.
And Master Hoadley, did you actually get into a bad situation where you had to use your Taekwondo skills to defend yourself?
Oh yeah, several times, yes, absolutely. Yeah, it works, you know. Unfortunately, I was a slow learner, and one of the things I learned is I paid much closer attention to my opponent after he hit me really hard. Then I started getting really serious, and eventually you learn to be very serious and very relaxed and pay close attention to what's going on right in front of you. And if you practice some of the things we talked about today, then you're conditioning a response, and hopefully the response will be accurate and effective and keep the other guy from hitting you.
Okay, Tasha, you have a question. What's your question, Tasha?
Where are you at?
We're in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay, guys, anybody else question? Please raise your hand real quick. We are nearing the end of the seminar. Mr. Strickland, do you see somebody? You can help me scan. We have lots of students. We had over 60 students training in this seminar. How awesome is that, guys? I don't see any questions.
No, that's it.
All right, so team, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today, and Grandmaster Hoadley for our seminar. I hope that you are going to remember and practice what he was showing up. I think these are some cool concepts. Thank you so much, Mr. Hoadley. We appreciate you. Guys, how about we bow out with Master Hoadley like a black belt? Let's everybody stand up tall and strong. We're going to put our hands out. When I say set, we're going to snap into attention. We're going to say, sir. Set. And when we bow, we're going to say, yes, I can. Bow. Yes, I can. Excellent job. Master Hoadley, thank you so much for joining us.
My honor, my privilege. Thank you so much for asking me.